All right, guys, I'm back. For whatever reason, I got a phone call and it came in and dropped everything. So we'll get the comments back up. Wait a couple minutes here for comments to come back up. Got one person back. Old people and technology. Now, somebody decided to give me a call. Um, at the same time I was going live. I should have did airplane mode, but I didn't. I got your old people and technology. Army Kane is back. Get back to work. Yeah, there's no limit. What's up, guys? Where's all my other people?
I tried every type of ED medication.
Come on. Don't want this. Trying to get my live back up. All right. So I'm back live. 9 people back in. If you had a comment up, put it back up. I know one guy said Melbourne, Florida. Yes, that's where I'm at, Melbourne, Florida. There you are, Justin. Hey, y'all. And Jonah Green, you're back. Okay. Somebody made the comment about why are they self-insured forcing cameras? Well, you know what? They make the decisions. They're self-insured, but they want the cameras for the protection, and it's their insurance company that's requiring the cameras. I know it's all kind of a roundabout family way of doing stuff, but that's just the way they do it. Army is right. Can't make money sipping Arnold Palmers in Florida. Well, I don't believe it or not, I don't do Arnold Palmers. I've never been a tea person. You can have all the Arnold Palmers you want. You and Poppy can come down here and play charades and those domino games and all that type of stuff. Miami folk. Yep. Cameras are there to put fault on the drivers. I agree. Oh, your sister's in Melbourne. Okay. Well, that's where I'm at. If you're not sipping Arnold Palmer's and some, that's your fault. I'd rather be sipping a margarita. They are self-insured, but it's administered by a third party. Yeah, in a roundabout way. But believe it or not, that third party insurance company is owned by Swift. It's Mojave Insurance. Um, it's just a. I'm sure again, there's legal reasons of why they do it. Just like with the lease, they own the lease company, Interstate Enterprise Leasing. I mean, it's all through. Believe it or not, it's all through Swift, one way or the other. And again, Swift's not the bad guy here. That's how all companies do it. They all the mega carriers base it the same way. And I'm not here to brag or say, hey, these mega carriers are great, and I'm here because the money's good. Um, just take the paycheck and figure out what the next step is when the time comes, if there is a next step. Who knows? We all might be out of business in a few years. If the previous administration had their ways, we'd all be doing other jobs because all the electric trucks would be driving themselves right now. Anybody got any questions? So my bougie wife got an ice maker. Don't get me wrong, I'm glad she got it, and makes these little tiny cubes, kind of like the Sonic ice. And it tastes so good with your sodas and stuff. It melts right at the right time and the place. Takes forever for them to melt. I don't know if you guys ever noticed that, but at McDonald's they always have the perfect Cokes there. The very perfect Cokes and Diet Cokes because of the way the mix is. But One thing about their ice, it melts so damn quick. They do it on purpose to melt that down so you go get another soda. So my wife says she's not bougie. Well, I don't know about that. Yep. Well, these ice cubes are a lot smaller than what they are at Love's. A whole lot smaller. Army, they administrate through another company that they control for severability. They still control every aspect. That is correct. It's Pop Tart. This is my new channel. Oh, I got you. That's the secret. Wealthy and healthy. Why would you start a new channel, Pop Tart? Did you get hacked too? It took me a minute to figure that out, but I didn't think that you would start a new channel. That's not a nice question to ask, Newman. What the hell? I'll put it up anyways. Does her butthole like to be licked? I don't think it's kind of nasty. You got to remember, I got family here right now. Not going to like that one. Yeah. Yeah, I got my daughter that's literally like 15 feet away from me right now. I don't know if that's a good one to ask her. That means my new channel will be called Broke and Fat. Yep. Army Kane, are you still at that same company that you went to? I don't remember which company it was. I know you were looking at several. I just don't remember which one. JS Hellwig. I remember that. They treating you pretty good over there. Money's good. Right now, guys, I mean, again, we've talked about this for a while now. We just need to hang in, wait, see what happens. We're hoping the economy changes soon. See if the floodgates open up. Who knows if it will. Money's great. Well, that's good, buddy. You still got your SF5 truck over there with them? Fortunately, I don't think there's anybody really killing it right now anywhere. It's just, the thing is how much expenses do you have to make what you make? That's the big thing. Tell your family we all said hello and thank them for lending us some of your home time. I'll sure do it, Three Rigs, and we appreciate it. I'm just, like I said, I popped in here just to see how things are going with guys and thought I would waste a little bit of time. We're going to be leaving here in an hour or so. Yep, and clear about 2,000 after all expenses. Okay, well that's not bad with an SFI truck. That's not bad at all. That's not bad at all. I don't know if you could honestly, I don't know if you could do that with an SFI truck at Swift. I've talked to a couple guys about it, and I just don't know if that's possible. I mean, maybe. I mean, you'd have to run every bit of 3,000 miles, but I don't know. I don't know if it would be worth it. And again, like I tell everybody, Swift ain't the answer for everybody. That's definitely for sure. I mean, all these companies, there has to be a fix between everything, whether it's home time, whether it's money, equipment, those are usually the most important things. This channel is to watch drivers, and they don't know it's me for a few. Oh, okay. So this is your troll account, basically. So you can watch people. Doubtful they'll pay me $1.50 mile loaded and $1.10 empty. Well, the $1.50 mile loaded is about my average. The $1.10 empty won't be, but the problem is what fixed cost do you have? That's the big thing. What's up, M&M? Okay, I don't know what that means. Range, Florida. Good afternoon, Blues Trucker. Everything's well with me. Like I said earlier in the stream, I had a real good week. Had an excellent week, actually. So I brought home 2980 and I did 2750-ish in miles. So to me, that wasn't too bad. So I'm curious, Army King, that $1.50 mile load, is that to you after the bills are paid, or is that you still got to pay your taxes, or your not your taxes, but your fuel out of that? You know, the main thing everyone needs to know is what I eat during my make you shit, and what they eat make me shit. Basically, each there take care of your family. That's right. Yeah, you just got to know that you're making money for your family. Plus fuel charge is about $250 a week for insurance, and if I fare will drop once my escrow is full. Okay. Yeah, you're not doing too bad then. $18 people in here. Anybody want to comment on anything? We've been going close to an hour with both of them together. It's a damn shame I couldn't have combined the two together. I just couldn't, for whatever reason, when the phone rang, I couldn't come back on the live. It wouldn't let me in for some reason, so I had to stop it and start a new one. Well, guys, you guys have a great Saturday and a great rest of your weekend. I guess I'll cut it off here. What's you using the spot? So you're asking Army Kane. No, I'm not drinking right now, but I'll probably have a couple margaritas later watching the ball game. I'm going to watch the Pacers win tonight, hopefully. Spot market load boards. You talking about me, or you talking about Army Kane? If it's just me, I'm running straight Swift contract freight. But I think you're talking about Army Kane. So funny, when I get ready to shut it down, I get like 10 people that come on the live. Oh yeah, what am I? I'm just Mountain Dew. That's all I'm drinking right now. I got a birthday party for a 13-year-old that I'm going to be going to here shortly. So, no drinking for me right at the moment. Once I get situated, I will. Not at all contract freight reefer. Woo, good for you. I don't want to do any reefer. Michael, how consistent are the loads? Well, Michael, I have not stopped since I've been over here, and I've had backup loads hooked to me with every place. I got a backup load with me that I've had since Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday night they hooked me up with a load that I don't pick up until Sunday because they knew I was going home. So I got a load going out of Florida. I literally deadhead about 100 miles to Tampa, and that load takes me out of Florida into Virginia. So I'm set. And I have been the whole time that I've been over here. I don't have a problem with having loads attached to me at all. You look like you need to be a football coach or something. Probably because of the Nike shirt. Could I could, you know what? I'd probably be a better basketball coach than I would be football. I love football. Football's my favorite sport, but there are a lot of rules, and they constantly change the rules in football to where I don't know if I would be good and effective. Now, basketball, I played basketball back in the day, more of a recreational thing than with teams or anything, but I know the game of basketball inside and out, and I enjoy it. and hockey too. Hockey's another sport that I played years ago. Hopefully everything will work out with you at Swift. Well, one way or the other, they're going to work out. That's for sure. Because like I said, I'm going to start training here soon. And believe it or not, the recruiting's starting to pick up a little bit too. So if that picks up and training works out, then I'll be fine. Army King, do you have 10-4 truck insurance? Back to your comment though, wealthy and healthy. I mean, even if I didn't train and I didn't recruit, I would still do the same amount of money like I did this week. The weeks that I'm out here, there shouldn't be any reason why I shouldn't make over $2,500 bring home. No reason whatsoever. And I'll still have a $1,500 to $2,000 paycheck when I go back out this week, and being home for 3 days. The issue there is they only have about 20 owner ops here and only add more when one leaves. I got you. So they just kind of replace. Yes, he does take that look. So I do look like a coach, huh? Interesting. Start training. What about the truck? Again, like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm still tossing the idea of taking a lease truck. And the reason, guys, is because of the miles. I'm going to be putting, 5,000 miles a week. And I'm just not so sure that I want to take an older truck and put a lot of miles on it. I don't know. I'm tossing it up and down. At least you are going home now. I've been home since Friday morning, since yesterday morning, early yesterday morning. So I won't be leaving out till tomorrow. How long do I stay out? I try to stay out 2 to 3 weeks, go home for 3 or 4 days, and rinse and repeat. Now, when I start training, I'm going to go out for 4 weeks because that's how long a student has to go out with you. And then I'm going to stay home for a week. That's pretty much how I'm going to do it. Being home goes a long way. Absolutely agree. No, I used the insurance because it was cheap and good coverage. Yep. Yeah, Tim Ford has a good coverage too. I've not called them personally because I stuck with the Seabright insurance. Unfortunately, I gotta go get the Mojave insurance so I can train. So I got to make this decision up sometime this week and figure out which way I'm going to go with it. I'm really at a 50-50 standstill trying to figure it out. Hey, a lot of people against me telling me not to do the lease almost makes me want to do the lease just to prove everybody I can still make it. But again, I don't know what I'm going to do. With the money you'll make from training, you'll pay your truck off in no time. You'll be able to buy your next one right out, no finance. Yep. How much are you looking to take home training? 3 to 4,000. Maybe a little bit more, but I'm being very conservative. It's all up to you and how the trainee wants to run. And back to your comment, No Limit. I agree with you to that, but my goal is to pay off this where I'm at right now. I want to pay my house off is what I really want to do. And that's my whole purpose. James, you have 10. No, I have Seabright insurance. Very happy with them. I wish I could keep them. If again, if I didn't train, I could keep them, but I have to have their insurance. Fly, use your truck to train, get it paid off, and when it breaks, then lease from them. That's a thought too, and I thought about. My thing is, I don't know. Again, like I said, I'm 50-50. Net. What am I bringing home? Yeah, that's me bringing home 3 to 4,000, maybe 5 on occasional weeks. It just depends on how many miles you run. Just like I said, the way the training works, you get paid for the student's miles too. The Swift pays for the student. So if I drive, as you can see, I'm running about $1.05 a mile bring home. So if I run 4,000 miles, that means I'll bring home about $4,000 paycheck because the fuel is basically a washout. If I do 5,000 miles, then it'd be 5,000. Do I like training? Yes and no. I like having a person on the truck to talk to, and I do like the training aspect, but sometimes it can be like a brother-sister type situation. You want them off the truck as quick as they got on, and sometimes when you get a bad one, it can be very not fun having a guy that can't drive, and you're really So the biggest problem that I had was teaching the guys how to drive. So when they come to me as a trainee, they need to already know how to drive. And unfortunately, these puppy mill trucking schools don't teach them how to drive properly. So I'm having to do their job and teach them how to drive, because a lot of these guys have never had the semi out on the expressway or the highway or anything. So you got to teach them how to drive. And then there are some that, you know, that have been in it before and, you know, got back into it, been out of it for 5, 10 years or whatever. Those guys are the guys you really like. Those are the ones that I like to train, because you don't have to teach anything to, basically. Don't do the lease. I hear you, Newman. I hear you. You ever had to put a trainee off the truck? Yeah, I've had to do it several times. And one couple times they've made their own decision and jumped off the truck on their own without even telling me, in different cities. They just got a hotel room and found their own way home. You know, again, it happens. What's the worst thing you ever had to deal with a trainee? God, I've got several of those, man. I had one guy that got on the truck with me, didn't eat for a week, and I couldn't figure out why he wasn't eating. Then he told me that he doesn't eat meat. He doesn't eat any of the bullshit from the truck stops, and the food that he had to eat, he had to go to a Chipotle. That was the only place he could get the food that he liked to eat, because it was, you know, good vegetables and stuff like that. I'm like, I don't know if I can take you to a Chipotle every day, buddy, but, you know, again, you know, he was very, very, he's from another country and very different. And he couldn't speak English very well either. That didn't help. And again, this was quite a few years ago before this domicile CDL shit came up. Sounds like your truck's solid. I would run that, make more money. Again, you know, I just don't know, dude. At least try it for the first month. Well, and that's the problem that I'm thinking about. They charge you to put the camera in the truck. So if I'm going to go straight to a lease truck, why put a camera in a truck that I'm going to take out 30 to 60 days later? That's what I'm fighting with. How about smells you had to deal with somebody who's stuck and didn't want to wash? You know, I got to tell you the truth. Even with the worst students that I had, I never had that problem with people the way they smelled. Fortunately for me, I never ever had that problem. I never had a stinky person get on the truck. Had some good experiences too with quite a few students. Remember, you will make more money, but the lease eats $700 a week. Your costs are $900 a month. Use the difference to pay your bills off. Again, man, I've done the math all the way around on all the ideas. Trust me, I know. How about someone who just smokes nonstop? No, I don't take smokers. That's one thing that I do not do. When they ask you who you want to train, the things that I always said is I can't have a smoker, and I didn't want a woman. One of those I broke a couple years back, and I brought a woman aboard the truck. Had a great experience with her. She was very easy to teach, and did very well. It was a little uncomfortable at first, but we had a discussion about it at the very beginning, and she actually worked out pretty well. And to my knowledge, I think she's still with Swift, and this is 2 years ago. Very good student, very nice person. I kept in contact with her for a long time afterwards, but you know, just like everything, you fall out of contact with people. But she's got my number. She can always call me if she's got anything. But at this point, I don't think there's anything she would really need for answers or questions or anything. Yeah, you know, you were talking about that. I think it was Army Kane. Yeah, I and Newman both. You know, I've done the math on all of them. You know, both ways around. It just I don't know, man. Just the reliability of a new truck is what I'm looking at more than anything, and having that warranty in case something does happen. How much is your truck? Well, if you're asking monthly payment, my truck is under 1,000 a month, and it will be paid off in about a year and a half. You want to play me one-on-one basketball? Well, how old are you? That's the first question. Second question is, I haven't played basketball in a long time, so you would probably kick the shit out of me playing basketball right now. Back in the day, I was pretty damn good. If I could go back in time about 30 years, I would probably take you up on that challenge. I was pretty damn good at the time. I wasn't Michael Jordan good, but you know, I could keep up with the best. Not only that, I've shrunk about 2 inches on my height. I was 6 foot at one time. I think I'm down to like 5'10" and a half, 5'11". I've shrunk. Get old, you shrink. I was a lot bigger too, a lot fatter. I say fatter, more muscular, I guess, more than anything, just big. What's up, Mark Ely? How are you? So, Mark, I got to know in your picture, and I've asked Trucker Todd this, and Trucker Todd doesn't even know, which guy are you in the thumbnail? The white guy or the black guy? I'm curious. LeBron or Jordan? Oh, that's easy for me, Jordan, all the way. Nothing to knock what LeBron's done. LeBron is an equal great athlete in his own. I just don't like LeBron's mouth. I don't like the way he operates his personality. Um, Not taking away his talent, but still, I think Michael would take LeBron in the same aspect, in my opinion. How do you deal with people who don't have any money starting out? You don't have money to do. That's actually a very good question. People don't starve when they're on the truck with me. I mean, that's the one thing that I've always done. I help them out as much as I possibly can. Nobody will ever starve when they come out with me. Unfortunately, that's um, the very democratic side of me, I guess, that I don't really have. Is they get on the truck with me, I make sure they're fed. I'm just picking your brain. It's interesting. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I guess I am in a roundabout way. I don't like to see anybody. I don't like to see anybody starve or hurt. You know, I'd give anybody the world if I could, if I'm able. I'm just one of those guys that, I try to pass it along as best that I can. I don't agree with a lot of things, and I don't agree with the way a lot of things are going with the world and the country or whatever. And sometimes, students can be assholes too, but I just I can't see anybody starve. So white guy, that's when I worked at W. So you're the white guy. Okay, I got you, Bark. I was always wondering that. So who's the black guy? Was he a big wrestler at the time or something? That's so funny, man. Mark Ely. I'm glad you're on the show, Mark. I know you've been on everybody else's show, and you've been on here a couple times. Bojangles and White Castle. Man, White Castle's definitely, man. I do love Bojangles. You're a team player. Sounds like a great dude. I try to be as fair as possible. People get on here and hate all the time about me doing this or me doing that. But you know what? I try to do me, man. I don't worry about everybody else. And I don't think anybody really needs to worry about me. What about guys who are actually confrontational? I had one guy that was confrontational. And what was so funny about it, I felt like I knew this guy forever and he was only on my truck for a day. And I felt like he was like my best friend. We had great conversation with each other. And I don't even know if he even watches this YouTube or not, but he'll know who he is if he does. He basically worked for T-Mobile. He was a big infrastructure guy, setting up all the T-Mobile towers back in the 2000s to the 2010s, and had a lot to do with that. And we were just driving down the road, having conversation. He's telling me about this tower, that tower, and talking about old trucks. He had a bunch of old Chevy C10 pickup trucks, square bodies, and we just had a lot in common, a lot to talk about. I went inside to a truck stop, got some food, came back out. He's like, James, I just can't do this. I said, can't do what? He's like, drive a truck. And then he started yelling and screaming at me out of the clear blue. And I don't even remember what the argument was about. He just started yelling at me. I'm like, what the fuck happened here? He's like, James, I got to go home. I'm like, okay, well, we'll get you dropped off here and it did. I got him dropped off, and he actually apologized to me and said he's sorry that he had his own personal demons, his own personal issues that he was working with. And I'm like, hey, buddy, whatever you got to do, go take care of them, and never ever heard another word from him, surprisingly, but never did. I think he was more embarrassed than anything. Mark Henry never was much of a wrestling guy. I have to look him up. World's strongest man, Mark Henry. Okay. The Incredible Bulk says. I'll have to look him up. Worked at WWE shit. That must have been cool. I bet it was cool to be there at that time. Here's a good one. How about laundry now? That is a topic that doesn't get touched on. You talking about doing laundry? I mean, we'll do the laundry at the terminals if that's what you're talking about. The equity of a used truck is more valuable than the carrier lock lease. Yeah, I don't disagree with you. 100%. James, do you like Nikola Jokic? Yeah, the Joker, he's pretty good. I don't really have a favorite player. If I really had a favorite player, it'd be Donovan Mitchell. That's the reason, because of him coming from Louisville. That's where I went to school at. That's where I'm from. Any of the Louisville guys, I've always kind of partial to. Daryl Griffith back in the day. I mean, they're getting ready to do a big Netflix thing on him. I don't really have a favorite player. Of course, Michael Jordan back in the day obviously was everybody's favorite, but I just like the game. Don't really have a favorite team. I've never had a favorite team in the NBA. When I lived in Louisville up until the early 2000s, there was a lot of talk of them trying to get an NBA team. They actually built an NBA arena in downtown Louisville, which the University of Louisville uses now. They actually built that arena to get which is now the Memphis Grizzlies. They were the Vancouver Grizzlies back in the time. They were going to get they were going to be the Louisville Grizzlies, and they were going to change the name of the Grizzlies to the Catbirds. I mean, they had a semi-professional team called the Catbirds back in the day, which is, a combination between, the Louisville Cardinals and the University of Kentucky Wildcats. And that's where the Catbird came from. But, the big leaders of the city just couldn't lure the basketball team in because of the arena. And then they got after that was all said and done, they still got the financing for the arena and built it. And let me tell you guys, this arena is probably one of the biggest arenas, and it's more than an NBA arena. It's huge. I don't know the capacity, but it's got to be in the 40, 50,000 seats, for a college team. And the thing is, when the University of Louisville plays, they fill that arena every single game. They got season tickets that are, sold out 10 years plus. I don't know. I don't really know, but I've always been a basketball fan. So wealthy and healthy. You've ever had a trainee leave you on the side of the interstate? No, I've never had that happen, but I've had a trainee leave the truck and not tell me about it, which was kind of weird. I called him up on the phone. I said, "Hey, where you at?" He said, "Yeah, I went next door to the hotel." And I'm like, "Okay." He's like, "I already got all my stuff out of there." All right, man. See you later. What's your thoughts on J.C. Jackson? I don't think I know who is J.C. Jackson. Again, like I said, I'm not an NBA fan, so I don't know all the players. I haven't really kept up with it in the last few years. Just recently got back into it. I used to love training. I probably trained over 100 students. Wow, that's a lot. I'm about 20 or so, I guess. Most of the time you hear about a trainer leaving the trainee on the side of the road. Still haven't heard of a trainee. No, I've never heard of a trainee leaving a trainer. That would probably be a bad thing to do. I've never left a trainee on the side of the road. Not like that. They've left themselves. So Techno says, get a job. I got your job, buddy. I'm doing it. I'm always doing it. Newman Attack. Does Swift still pay mileage after a student goes solo? Does a Swift still pay mileage after a student goes solo? So when the student gets off the truck, he goes and makes his own pay, if that's what you're saying. I don't get his pay anymore once he gets off the truck, if that's what you're saying. So basically, it's a counter of whatever odometer is on my truck. So I get his miles and my miles. How a trainee wrecking the truck or dropping the trailer or high hooking the trailer. I've never had any of those situations happen. If the trainee wrecks the truck, obviously it's going to be on the insurance. I don't know how that would all go into play. Never ran into that. Oh, man. All right, guys. I guess I'm going to get off here. Don't forget to watch Country and KO tonight. And I'm pretty sure that D's going to have a show tomorrow night. So catch the shit show tomorrow night. Both those shows are at 7. New trucking reality show called Trainees from hell. You know, it's funny that you said that. I was looking at one time of getting a show together, talking to some of the big companies that did some of the big shows like Gas Monkey Garage and all them. I was looking at doing that. I had a person that had a connection with them, but I never followed up with it. It'd be kind of cool to have that. Okay, you are a certified trainer from listening to you. Yep, I am. Hang loose for just a second, guys. I'll be right back.
Jesus Christ, man.
All right, let's see what we got up here. Newman Attack. Nope, before Swift merged with Knight, trainers got paid a few cents miles after the student went solo. Yeah, they don't do that. I just don't know if they. I can't confirm or deny that. I don't know if they ever did that. But what I do know is once the trainee does, go on solo, you get a $500 bonus. At least it was when I was there before. I'm sure it still does. Brian Jess, man, you've been on the road for 7 weeks and you're doing YouTube about trucking from home. That's dedication. Yeah, well, I'm experimenting. I'm seeing how many people pop in on different times and stuff. I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to run everything. My friend said he had a student get out when he stopped and left curtains closed, so he thought he was there, so he drove. You know what? That's always been my biggest fear. I always tell the students, make sure the curtains are open so I know that you're out of the truck. Mac T, that would be funny. Yeah, I wouldn't mind having a reality type show. I think that'd be kind of cool. All right, guys, if you got any more questions, pop them up. If not, we're going to cut her loose. I've been on here about an hour and a half, maybe, or so. I got a lot of things I got to get done here before we go to this birthday party. Anybody? Wealthy and healthy, Swift trainees from underneath the bridge, gone wild. That's funny. Yeah, people can say whatever they want to about Swift. To me, it's that's why I keep coming back. Even Brian Jess can attest on here. I don't think he'll ever go back, but it's not a bad company, especially getting started and doing what I need to do the way I need to do it. Pilots biscuits. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of their biscuits either. Get it, buddy. Hope you get a good buzz. Yeah, I'm going to try and get a good buzz later. That's for sure. Take it easy, wealthy and healthy. Enjoy your afternoon with your daughter. I sure plan on it, Nathan. Thanks for coming in. And again, guys, I know you guys are my regular people that come in all the time. I appreciate all the good support. You're doing good. Thank you, Wealthy. Appreciate it. I still need to call you Pop Tart because that's who you are. We'll keep it a secret. Anyway, guys, don't forget about Country and KL show tonight, and don't forget about D show tomorrow night. This truck and shit show, both at 7 o'clock. And Ruth the Pacers on tonight, guys. Care less about the Knicks, but guys, have a good night. We'll talk up next week when I get back out. Oh, and by the way, got Michelle coming on the show Thursday night at 7 o'clock. She's the recruiter from Swift. So if you guys got any questions about leases or anything like that, she's going to be your person. She's going to be your person. Yeah, I know Country got hacked. He's got a new channel. He'll go over all that tonight with you guys. Enjoy your home time. Catch up with you later. Thanks, Blues Trucker. Thanks, Range. I'll talk to you guys later. Pop Tart, Nathan, all you guys. Have a good night. Newman Attack.